Hello my makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back. It has been another week, so we have a week's worth of new makeup releases to actually chat about. If you haven't seen me before, my name is Teresa and I like all things makeup. It's a problem at this point. But you guys actually tag me in new makeup release content that you want me to discuss, because let's be real, there's an awful lot of new makeup releases and it can be hard to keep up with all of them. So when you guys tag me, it makes it clear what ones you want me to discuss. So a massive thank you to everyone who has tagged me. I'm going to show your names now. I massively appreciate it. I'm sure a few of you are also wondering, where is Tia? She's actually at her sister's at the moment, but she will hopefully be back next week. It's a weird time of year. It's hard to schedule things, but we'll eventually get there. But before we get into the new makeup releases, I actually have a sort of an announcement. So you will know that I talk about Makeup Radar all the time. Between them and Point Click Vibes, I get so much information from them. They are amazing. But Makeup Radar, or My Makeup Radar, got closed down. Their account on Instagram got shut down, it got reported, so they've actually had to start from scratch again, and they are now Makeup on Your Radar. So I'm going to have a link down below and you can go and follow them. They are fantastic. You know my feelings on them. But as always, get your cup of tea ready, or coffee, or whatever libation it is that you need. And we're going to get into talking about the new makeup releases right now. So one of the first things that we wanted to talk about is kind of a continuation of a sneak peek from last week. And this is Ensley Rain Cosmetics, and it's their Harvest Moon. So it's a remastered version of their previous palette, but with kind of additional shades. So in all, we're talking about 8 multi-chromes, 6 duochromes, and 7 matte. So it's quite a bit of stuff, and it's going to retail for $88.88. Now we don't have a date yet as to exactly when it's coming out, and I have kind of discussed this with the owner, and it seems there's kind of some debate as to whether it's going to be around the 26th or the 29th of the month. So kind of keep your little ears out for this. Let's discuss this. I really enjoy the way that this is laid out. It's very grungy. I like the mix of the mattes versus the metallics, which I know sounds very unusual for me because normally I like a 50-50 split, and this is not a 50-50. That's right. If you're good at maths, you've already figured that out. But you see, their formula is really, really strong when it comes to their multi-chromes and their duochromes. So I feel like they're really leading with the right foot here. And you know me, I'm looking at some of those shades like Luscious, Flannel, and Forage, and they are just my kind of thing. I can't help it. I love greens. It's an illness at this point, but I do think they are genuinely really, really interesting. And the swatches are exactly as you would expect. Very rich, very pigmented, very sparkly. Definitely like quite an interesting palette. I do actually feel like you could probably use this by itself, which is unusual, because like with a lot of these sort of palettes, you'd kind of have to dip into other things to get it to work. Like when you have like that mix of mattes versus multi-chromes, it's quite difficult. But I don't feel you would necessarily do a very structured look with this. I feel like this is like maybe a sweeping of a matte and then adding on like 1 or 2 multi-chromes, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, what is on your eyeballs? I must have it. And then people start to lick you and it becomes a whole thing. The artwork is really, really beautiful on this. I think it's done really, really well. As I said before, it's a remastering of their previous palette, which was on sale for $85. So they've added in 3 extra shades, but they've like remastered things. So the fact that it's only an extra like $4 more expensive is actually quite good when you consider that everything is increasing in price. I think this is beautiful, and you can also remove the pans, which I personally think is really, really great. And I'm assuming that down the road they're also going to have it so that you could get these as singles to replace the ones that you have panned. I love that sort of a design, because for me, that's really where we have to be going with makeup, you know, rather than being like, oh, I have to go and buy a new palette because I panned this thing. Although, who on earth does that in this day and age? Who's gone off buying palettes because they've panned one shade? I mean, not me, because I have like a million palettes and I rarely pan things except for in terrible, terrible reviews. But I like this. I think this is very, very pretty. I think this is extremely autumnal. I can see the inspiration of Harvest Moon in here. It's genuinely like whetted my appetite for just general makeup. I like this. I really, really like this. I want to see more swatches of this. Yeah, and I have bought quite a few things from Ensley Rain of late, and I do really enjoy their quality. So if you've kind of been looking at this, I feel like you probably will enjoy it. Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, there's always that thing of like, do you necessarily need another palette? Or maybe that's just me. Like, I'm at that point in my life where I have all of this stuff here, but I love it. I think this is very, very, very pretty. And yes, I know it's all very like one tone in the sense that it's like very, very deep. There's not a lot of light. So it's like, oh, how could you create much of a look? I think actually with this theme, you shouldn't really be bringing in much light. It wouldn't make an awful lot of sense. I'm totally here for it. Really, really love it. There's like bits of this that's also like really Halloween-y. There's something about this time of year that I think all the palettes and the color stories that come out are like so my vibe. This is when I'm like, my defenses are down. And it's really, really difficult because there's so many fun like Halloween releases, but this definitely caught my eye, and it is expensive. It is, let's be real, who has like $90 just lying around, and then you add on like shipping and customs and taxes and all that sort of thing. But I do think it's genuinely very, very pretty, and if you are looking to treat yourself, you probably will enjoy this. You know the drill though, there's loads of codes for like money off. There's like there's Radar 10, which is makeup on your radars code, and I'm sure there's lots of others. So if you are interested, then go and have a little look. You'll find something for yourself. But can I just say, and I know you guys are a discerning lot, when I put this to you guys, oh my goodness, it did so well. 59% of you loved it, while the remaining 25% said we need Beauty Bay to stock them, which I agree with. Like, I would like to see more mainstream retailers stocking things like this, and only 15% said not for me, which is highly unusual. So this did extremely well. And actually, you know how I said makeup on your radar, their original account got like nixed from Instagram, which that's happened to them so many times at this point. It's actually like really, really frustrating. It was down to ABH, Anastasia Beverly Hills, actually reporting them, when at the same time Trend Mood had the exact same post up, and they did this to another smaller Instagram account as well. So it was beyond frustrating. So it's kind of left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth on this. Granted, it's probably like ABH's social media team, but they really need to like cop themselves onto that. It's not a great way of dealing with people. But let's talk about the product itself. This is the Glow Seeker highlighter. They say it's an illuminating powder for a lit from within glow. I mean, that's a phrase we've heard for years when it comes to highlighters. You know, you're like lit from within, like you're some sort of a firefly, which I don't know, is that a look? I'm not against it. They say it's a flattering highlighter for all skin tones. Now, the way that they've actually swatched it is weird to me. It doesn't really show that particular selling point because it doesn't look like it would blend out. Like, it looks weird on a darker skin tone and on a very pale skin tone. So I actually need to see it applied on the cheeks or the nose or wherever it is that you want to put your highlighter on to actually see, does it live up to that claim? Because many a brand has actually tried to make that claim before and it has been horrendously bad. But I feel a little bit of a soft spot for ABH these days. I feel like they're kind of slowly reclaiming ground that they had lost over the last 2 or 3 years, and they're coming back to being like a little bit more relevant, a little bit more interesting. So I'm definitely looking at these, and like people have said it reminds them a little bit of Amrezy, which I can totally see, but I would hope that they've like changed the formula and updated this a little bit, and that's why they maybe haven't like called it Amrezy, because obviously they'd have to pay Amrezy for that. But it says that it feels like a second skin. I hate that phrase. Hate that phrase. I can barely tolerate the current skin. And there's a unique baked powder gel hybrid formula. Now that is something I am genuinely interested in. I like that sort of a formula. Like, I feel like this could be genuinely really, really interesting. I'm gonna have to wait to see, because like I know Space NK stock ABH in Dublin, and I'm sure I could find a reason to drive 2 hours to Dublin to swatch a highlighter. But I am kind of interested in this. Now, if it's crazy expensive, then it's... no, even then, I'm an idiot and I have like no willpower, so actually that doesn't entirely rule it out. But they say it has this like high reflectivity of a liquid and the weightlessness of a powder without the fallout. So basically all of the benefits of all the other like types of products, but none of the disadvantages. Which again, I get it, that's their marketing. They're being all like, we're amazing, and I'm like, I'ma have to see. I'm not saying it won't work that way. I need to see. I do think it's genuinely very, very interesting. The compact looks very luxe, very sophisticated, very timeless, classic, all of these other synonyms. I am interested. I genuinely am. And like I said, it does feel like we're getting back into like a renaissance of Anastasia Beverly Hills, that people are like getting back into them, which I'm not against. Like, I quite like this. There was definitely a point for me that I felt that they weren't as interesting, but it feels like they're getting back to that, so that's quite cool. However, when I put it to you guys, it did not do great. 14% of you loved it, 59% said not for me, and 27% said that you need to see it on the face, which is where I'm kind of landing on this particular one. Then we have Huda, and this is their Easy Bake Pressed Powder. So it's called the Easy Bake and Snatch, and this is coming out on the 19th of September, so it's almost here, guys. Now, I don't know how much it's actually going to cost, but it looks like we basically have 8 shades. Now, personally, I feel like we needed maybe an extra 2 shades deeper. They've done really, really well in terms of accommodating the lighter skin tones, but past that, not so much. And it seems to be like this is one of those like powders that can do everything, because they're saying like you can snatch your face in seconds. Like they say that you can chisel your cheekbones, you can brighten your under eye. So I guess they're looking for people to buy several of these, like that you could get one for like your contour and you could get one for like your under eye, which I'm like, okay, that would be hella pricey, hella pricey. However, they have said it's talc free, which, as I have said before many and many a time, that's the new sexy thing. That is the new kind of buzzword that is driving things. Remember how last year was all like clean beauty? I feel like talc free is the thing that's going to be driving an awful lot of sales this year. But the thing that I find most interesting, because if you guys know me, I'm a sensory bee, it's fragrance free. A lot of people really didn't like Huda's powders, etc. before, because of the really, really strong fragrance that was attached to it. So I think they were really quite smart in ridding themselves of that. Now, apparently there's also hyaluronic acid in that. As I said before, that's like the sexy ingredient that's in everything, including me. But they have said it's going to give you a creamy, non-drying, incredibly soft, silky texture. Again, all of these things sound fantastic to me. I am definitely intrigued. Now, they say that this is going to give you medium to full coverage. So again, my interest is 100% peaked. I can't lie to you guys. You know me. My face unfortunately betrays everything. And they also say that it's sweat and humidity resistant. And the irony when I was kind of reporting on this to you guys was we had like a mini heat wave here, and I was like, the sweat was pouring off of me. I have never felt so physically uncomfortable. I am too Irish. Like, I am not built for heat. I will say if it ever gets to that temperature, I just can't put on makeup. But for a lot of people who are in those particular climates, I would imagine this would be a big, big selling point. Now, I don't know what the story is in terms of the finish, i.e. is it going to be matte, or is it going to have that little bit of like a shimmery formula to it? Now, if it's matte, I'm in. I am 100% in. I personally, and you know, if this isn't, if you don't agree, that's totally fine. We can agree to disagree. But I personally don't like when powders have that shimmer into it, because it just doesn't suit me. If I want to put shimmer, then I put like highlighter, but then it just looks, if I have shimmer on like a powder, it just makes me look like shiny in a not good way, like as if like I'm oily or sweaty or sticky. And none of these things are things that I want to look like. It looks beautiful on some people, like they look like this beautiful glowing god. But for me, it might just be like my skin tone or something. It doesn't look right on me. So I hope that it is matte, or if it isn't matte, that they consider doing this in matte, because I am genuinely intrigued. It's going to depend as well as to how much product we're actually getting and what the price is. If this is €30 and under, I think this will be a very quick sell for me. I'll be in there. I'll be grabbing it. I'll be going straight onto Boots, because usually I get like Huda via Boots. I am definitely intrigued. As I said, it's available globally on the 19th of September. So yeah, I think it's a good one. And when I put it to you guys, again, you are so discerning. 20% of you loved it, 61% said not for me, and 19% agreed and said that it needs more deep shades, because I really do feel like that's where they are truly, truly missing out on this particular launch. And then P. Louise have given us a sneak peek at their budget box, and we're already clamoring. We're already like, okay, just give it to me. There's the Droplet of Magic, and then there's the Hocus Pocus palette, and you'll get one of them in the September budget box. Now, I haven't signed up to the budget boxes, but for some reason my August budget box never came to me, so they're sending it out to me again. And knowing my luck, this will happen with the September one. Now, if you haven't managed to get the budget boxes, I know they have sold out. However, these two palettes will be available on general release in October, so fret not, my gorgeous friends. I fully love this. Now, the reason why I really enjoy this is for quite some time now, we've seen P. Louise doing monochromatic palettes, and she's been doing it really well, to be fair. Like, I'm not critiquing her on that. But it's nice to actually see a colour story, like actual shades put together and combined. So for me, I really like this. Now, if we're looking at, I believe it's the Droplet of Magic, it's the grey toned one. Oh my goodness. Absolutely love that colour story. I don't think we have seen anything quite like that from P. Louise. Now, the other side of it, because it's kind of formed to look like a book, the other side I do feel is a little bit more generic. It's stuff that we kind of have seen from P. Louise. And I also said before that it reminds me a little bit of the Lunar Beauty Moonspell Volume 2, which was very like purple and red toned, which was an okay palette. It wasn't amazing. I was a little bit let down by that. But do you know what? Given P. Louise's prices, I actually think this will be pretty darn good. It's a pity that I can't take one side of one palette and leave the other. I think that's where P. Louise is also missing a little bit of a piece, in that I think there's quite a few people that like only want half of a palette and they don't want the other half. Or maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just projecting onto you guys, but the swatches on that look absolutely gorgeous. Like, they do look very, very pretty. I'm kind of sold on it. Again, as I said, I'm pretty easy to sell on these things. It's beautiful. It's very gothic, very fun. As I said, this time of year, there's something about all of the releases that come out, they just kind of get my little heart going. And then the other palette that they have, that's the Hocus Pocus one. That one, again, like I said, there's one side of it that I really enjoy, and it's the purple greeny bit. But again, that reminds me of the Lunar Beauty Moon or Book of Spells Volume 1, or the Moonspell, or whatever it's called. It reminds me of that because there's shades in it that look like that. So it's quite interesting that there are like parts of each of those palettes that kind of replicate that, but it's also in a book format. Very strange to me. But again, they have the kind of generic side there with the oranges and the reds that they've kind of done before. So for me, that side isn't really interesting. I really truly wish that they would have kind of separated this out into even just 4 palettes in and of itself, rather than 2 palettes that are dual-sided. I personally don't like the dual-sided because, full disclosure, I'm incredibly clumsy, horribly clumsy, and the possibility of me possibly dropping this while I'm trying to spin it around increases, and that kind of stresses me out. Will I get it? Absolutely. I love it. Like, whatever one I get in the budget box, I'm going to get the other one later on because I have problems. The swatches again on that second one are really, really gorgeous. I will say though, it almost feels like the second part, like the back of that book with the oranges and reds, is almost not quite duping, but it's like a continuation of the back of the other book as well. You crafty things, P. Louise, you've made it so that people are kind of going to want to have the 2 of these because they'll kind of complement each other. You gotta hand it to them. Like, their marketing is really, really good. You know that I have given out about their packaging 5 million times, but on this very rare occasion, this chunky packaging actually makes sense. There you go, P. Louise. I'm giving you that much. I do actually really like this. Now, for me, P. Louise can be hit or miss in terms of the formulation. I've had palettes that I absolutely think are incredible, and then there have been palettes that I'm like, why is this patchy? Why is this not blending? And it's usually with the purples, which is kind of what you see with formulas like this anyways. I am very intrigued. Totally want it. Totally want it. As you all know, I don't need it. Passed that a really, really long time ago. But this is definitely one of those ones that's got me like really intrigued and excited for makeup in general, and B, got me excited for Halloween. Not that it takes a lot to get me excited for Halloween. Literally, as soon as there's like a nip in the air, I go into TK Maxx and I see like some Halloween decorations, I'm like, yeah, it's happening. Let's do Halloween stuff. So I am here for it. And lads, you guys are so ridiculously here for it as well. When I showed you the Droplet of Magic, 60% of you loved it. Like I said, that's the one that I thought was a little bit more interesting. 17% said not for me, and 22% said that you wished it was smaller. When I showed you guys then the Hocus Pocus palette, 56% of you loved it, 22% said not for me, and 22% again said that you wished that it was smaller. We actually have this Cosmic Come Up collection available right now with SHEGLAM, and there's quite a bit to it. There's an eyeshadow palette, there's some eyeliner pencils, there's little mini matte lipstick set, there's a sponge, there's a highlighter, and you can even get these cute little glasses as part of like the set. Look, I actually like this. Again, I think this makes sense with the theme of Halloween coming in. So we'll actually start maybe just talking about the Mood palette first. It's called Alien Mood and it's $8.99. There's 12 shades in this and it's a mixture of mattes and metallics. I genuinely like the color story on this. Do I think you could get everything done in one go? No, not necessarily. I have to say, I'm intrigued by the shade In Orbit, which is like this minty sage green. It's a really interesting kind of a mix there. And that's a very, very difficult one to formulate and have be pigmented. I had one similar to it from Glaminatrix recently that I was genuinely impressed by. So this could be quite interesting. I like the formula of SHEGLAM. It's one of those ones that kind of surprised me. I liked it a lot more than I thought it would. Do I think this is necessarily a one and done palette? No, but there you go. You also know that generally I get a bit miffed when eyeshadow palettes are weird shapes. And on this one, I kind of am, but also not. Let's dive into that. I am in the sense that there's clearly some missed space here that could have been taken advantage of. Like there's a space between or on the sides of Gravity and Asteroid to the left and to the right that could have been taken up. Like that you could have put something in. And it also kind of bugs me that the way that this palette obviously opens is like slippy slidey, which just doesn't feel secure and it does feel like things are going to get damaged. But I mean, it's $8.99, so you can't exactly have too much of a miffy kind of an attitude about it. I do think the shape in other respects does make sense. Like it is meant to be weird, it is meant to be kitschy. So I kind of like this a lot more than I thought I would, if I'm 100% honest. And I do find their quality is pretty good. And then they have this really cute little highlighter. It's called the Lunar Glow highlighter for $5.49 and it has this blue-green reflective sheen. I feel like they do products like this really, really well. Like some of the best collections that they have done were things like the Chrome collection. They did obviously the duochrome eyeliners and I still to this day rave about them. And they did like a duochrome highlighter as well, which I believe, in my opinion, rivals Kaleidos. So this to me, genuinely interesting. The thing that annoys me is the packaging because it's like circular and it's just going to hop all over the place. So that is slightly bugging me. But I mean, it's kind of cute. The design of the pan makes it look like it's a little moon and I do kind of enjoy that. There's part of me that kind of wishes, maybe I'm being really stupid, but there's part of me that kind of wishes the packaging was glow in the dark. Is that really stupid? I think that would be super, super cute. This is definitely like for people who are into like this side of culture. I get it. I do like it. If it came in slightly more compact packaging, I think I'd be straight on that. But other than that, I'm like, oh, not 100% there. Then they have two High Beam mini matte lipstick sets. They're $4.99 each. There's the Stella set, which is much more kind of like the colors that you would expect to get, you know, the everyday colors. There's Luna, Lyra, Vega, and Orion. And I mean, they're very, very wearable and it makes sense that they've done that. But I love that they've juxtaposed that alongside the Novo set, which has Draco, Aurora, Atlas, and Celeste, and can I just say, love those shades. I think those are genuinely interesting. Very hard to find like a shade like Draco as a lipstick. I think that's really, really cute. I do feel like maybe Celeste and Aurora are a little bit too close to each other. Just when you see them, like particularly on a deeper skin tone, it's hard to differentiate them. I don't love the packaging. For me, the packaging feels a bit finicky, and I would imagine that somebody who has like a lot of fine motor issues is really going to struggle with that, like, or even just long nails. Can you imagine? And I don't have very long nails, but can you imagine trying to like open that? Feels a little bit gimmicky. But I feel like the product itself is actually quite interesting. Like, I love the colours. I think they're genuinely quite interesting to me. Then they have their Milky Way eyeliner pencil. They're $2.99 each, and they come in 4 shades. And they are Dark Matter, Andromeda, Rocket Ship, and Exo Comet. And I have to say, if they're like the quality of eyeliners that I've gotten from them in the past, which they look like there's a metallic-y shift to them, I'm here for it. Their eyeliners are budge proof. Like, they are going to actually withstand you going into outer space. This is another one that I am genuinely intrigued by. If I had to pick up stuff from the collection, it would probably be these eyeliners and the highlighter. I think they're great. Probably more the eyeliners. I think the highlighter, I get a bit annoyed with the packaging. But these look very, very, very cool. And then they also have like this little sponge, which is obviously super, super cute. And that's going to retail for $1.49. Now, if you want to have the whole set, it also includes like a really cute pair of glasses. They're really like early noughties. I kind of love that. But of course, I can't wear sunglasses unless they're prescription. But you can get the full thing for $37.99. I have to say, this whole collection is done actually pretty darn well. I found with SHEGLAM they can be hit or miss, not in terms necessarily of quality, but in terms of like the ideas that they come out with. Sometimes you're like, oh my god, this is amazing, 10 out of 10. And then other times they're like, here's Frida Kahlo. We all remember the Frida Kahlo one. That was horrendous. I still think that Frida is probably haunting them now. Like, obviously she has to be. But in all, it's not a bad collection in my opinion. So when I put it to you guys, the eyeshadow palette did pretty okay. 23% of you loved it. 35% said that you wished it was a different shape. The highlighter did okay. 24% loved it. And 24% were like, how am I going to store it? Agreed. The lipstick set then in the style Stella got 10% love it. 25% said that you didn't like the design. I agree. Then the lipstick set in Novo did that little bit better because it's a much more interesting and unique colour story. 19% loved it, while 29% didn't like the components. The sponge did the best. That's what I found interesting. 41% loved it, while 6% said that you never use sponges. And then the eyeliner pencils did quite well. 24% of you loved it, while 11% said that you want more colours, which is kind of where I am, because I really like their eyeliners and I want them to expand on that, particularly with the multi-chromes. I'm being very greedy. At this point, I'm kind of a little bit obsessed with Rare Beauty. Any of the products that I have tried from them have become very fast favourites. You know me, you know when I see a red lipstick, I lose all sense of reason. And then this came out today. It's called the Rare Impact Kind Words Matte Lipstick in the shade Devoted. By the way, such a long name for a lipstick. And yet I love it. It's $20. They say make an impact this season in more ways than one. This special edition universal red shade of Kind Words matte lipstick hugs lips in rich pigment and pure comfort all day, while 100% of sales go to the Rare Impact Fund to increase access to mental health services for young people. I love that. I love the shade of lipstick anyways, but then the fact that 100% of sales, not 100% of profit, 100% of sales goes. Now I know they'll probably write this off as a tax. However, I still appreciate that. I think that's fantastic. I'm here for it. And it's only $20. It isn't bad at all. And they have all of this other stuff here as well. They say lasts and lasts without budging while keeping lips soft, nourished and moisturized all day, never drying or cakey. You have me here, Selena. You have me. Then it says that in an independent consumer study of 53 people, which in my opinion, not a great amount of people. You need much more than that to get any sort of decent stats. They said that 100% said that their lips look and feel smooth, fuller and more plump. 100% said their lips feel soft and conditioned, not dry or cakey. 100% said it felt cushiony and weightless on the lip. 100% said it doesn't feather or bleed. 94% said that the colour lasts all day. And 92% said it's transfer proof. That's it. I've made my decision. It looks absolutely stunning, and it looks beautiful across all of the models too. I mean, obviously it looks gorgeous on Selena, but that girl could wear like a bin bag and still look absolutely stunning. That being said, all the models are also incredibly stunning too, but you know what it is that I mean. This is an absolutely gorgeous shade of red. It's very blue toned, which if you know me, that's my kind of preference. And I feel like $20 isn't bad at all. I hope this comes to either Space NK or Sephora, which is where I can get it, because if it does, oh mama, I don't need it. I don't need it. I've loads of red lipsticks. I probably could dupe this out in my collection. But between the fact that like the proceeds of the sale go to mental health charities, and I love Rare Beauty and also love red lipstick, it's kind of a little bit of a no-brainer for me. It does look absolutely stunning, and it's, yes, it is matte, but it has that kind of very, not a sheen, but like that little bit of a like, haha look to it. I can't verbalize it. I'm very excited about this, so the words have gone, they've fallen out of my head. They look absolutely stunning, and to be fair, that all the models have fabulously white teeth, and then here I am with my like tea-stained teeth. But I love this. I think this is so cute. The component looks adorable as well. I kind of find it interesting that it isn't like circular. There's like a flat piece, so it's not going to roll away off of my desk like all of my lipsticks do, just trying to get away from you. Gosh darn me. Like I like this. And $20 for that. I've talked myself into it, lads. It's actually like a little bit worrying at this point, but I'm going to be like refreshing both Space NK and Sephora for this. Also, by the way, lads, you know how I'm gross? I'll have affiliate links down below for all of these. They're all marked with like an asterisk if you want to get any of these. I am genuinely excited. Now, I don't know what you guys actually think of it, because I haven't even managed to do like a short video on this yet, but I have put it into my stories, so I will show your opinions on this now. And I swear to God, lads, if you don't agree with me, well, there's nothing I can do about it. It's a free country. We can do what we want. And speaking of doing what we want, Makeup Revolution are just still doing things, and this is a really weird collab. This is with Emily in Paris, you know, the show on Netflix, which I can't believe that Netflix is still a thing when they treat their writers so badly. Who knows if we'll get another season of Emily in Paris, which is, I watched that in the background, but it's so badly, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's popcorn TV. If you love it, I'm delighted for you. It isn't my thing. I think I hate watch it. Maybe not hate watch it, but I like sit there and kind of go, you are the most unlikable main character. Like, I cannot root for her. I cannot. But they've done this whole collection, and it's available now in certain parts of Europe, and there's a lot to it. So there's 2 eyeshadow palettes, there's a highlighter, there's these multi-use lip and cheek blushes, cream lipsticks, there's a brush set, a sponge, bath soaps, even an eau de toilette. There's like a little gift set, a cosmetic bag, and oddly some blotting papers, you know, for oil on your face. So we're going to go through each of these one by one. So we have the City of Love eyeshadow palette for €21.99, and it's in such a strange shape. I assume they were trying to go for Eiffel Tower, but it looks like the packaging that they did for, was the Bratz ones? Ew, it does not look great in my opinion. And then there's like a really weird pattern on the shadows. I think it's them trying to do that houndstooth thing, but it doesn't really look fantastic. The color story is very, very disjointed. I don't really know what you do with this. I think these are probably all colors she's probably worn as part of outfits in the show, but I don't know. It feels really, really weird to me, and considering it's meant to be like chic and Parisian, like would anyone who was French wear this? That's my question, because historically the French are incredibly chic and gorgeous, so I don't know. And $21.99, and they don't even have swatches. I don't know, lads. Personally, I'd be saving my money on that. And then they also have this Camera Queen eyeshadow palette for €10.99, and it looks like an Urban Decay reject. And I say that in the sense of, like, you know, the terrible Urban Decay naked palettes that they've done 5 million times. It literally looks like that. Again, no swatches. It looks very mid-toned. There isn't a lot of depth in this. There's something very naughties about this. I can see the character probably wearing things like this, and it's €10.99, so actually it's not the absolute worst of things that I've seen from them. They then have the In the Spotlight powder highlighter for €9.99, and it always aggravates me when they come out with collections like this and they only have one shade of highlighter. It's like, who is this meant to be for? Don't you try and say that this is multi-purpose and it'll suit everyone. It's weird. It has that sort of a gradient in it, which I know has been like really popular in blush palettes and stuff of late, but I don't know, this is very strange to me. I will say the graphic design on the outside packaging looks cute as hell. I actually really like that. I think that it looks really, really cute. But there's no swatches, so I have absolutely not a clue in hell as to what it's going to look like. Then there's the multi-use lip and cheek blushes. They come in 3 shades. There's Paris Fantasy Rouge, Pinky Swear Pink, and Mimosa Orange, and they're €6.99. There's no kind of swatches of them on the face or on the lips, but they do look quite cute. It looks like you get a decent amount of product on them. They are very wearable kind of shades. At least for the deeper shades there, you could actually cater towards deeper skin tones, which is something at least. Then they have the Just a Kiss cream lipstick. They come in 3 shades. There's Mindy, which is a taupe nude, Camille, which is a pink nude, and Emily, which is a red. Emily is not cool enough to be a red. I'm sorry. If you've watched the show, maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. Camille makes sense as a pink, and they're €6.99 each. The components of those remind me a little bit of the Hourglass ones, which I think is actually quite interesting, and also reminds me a little bit of the newer Natasha Denona components as well. They have absolutely no pictures of these on the lip, which is weird to me. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Then they have the Très Chic brush set for €18.99. It looks tacky as hell, like the glittery handles. It looks like something I could get off Wish. I don't know how to say that in any kinder of way. It's just not good. Then they have the Love is in the Air blender sponge bauble for €6.99, and I just, something about the fact that the sponge is packaged in even more unnecessary plastic has just kind of aggravated me. Like, what sponge from Revolution is costing €6.99? Have you just made people pay more for the ridiculous bauble, or is it just the fact that this is a weird collaboration? I don't know. And then the little heart kind of design on it, kind of, I don't know, it looks really cheap and tacky. I don't like it. I do, however, like the rose petal bath soap. I think that looks actually quite pretty. It's €10.99, which is kind of a little bit more pricey, but it brings me back to the late 90s. You know, when you went to people's houses and they had the really fancy soaps and they'd leave them in the dish and you knew not to use them, they were just there to look at. That's what it reminds me of. They also have the Parisian Romance Eau de Toilette for €16.99, which is shaped like the Eiffel Tower, and it has like a weird little pom-pom on it. Very strange to me. I personally probably wouldn't go with an Eau de Toilette from Revolution. Not that I'd really buy anything from Revolution, but I don't know. Has anyone tried any of those? Will you let me know? Because I am intrigued as hell. Then there's the Weekend in Saint-Tropez gift set for €21.99, and there's a few kind of things in that which actually makes it seem not that bad. There's a key ring, which is stupid. I don't get that. But there's like a lipstick, which I think is actually kind of cute, and then like a little lip balm, which is again kind of cute, and the scarf is fully adorable. It doesn't make me think of Emily in Paris. It makes me think of, you know, the movie 13 Going on 13, you know, the dress that she wears, you know, the one I'm talking about, you know, the dress where she dances along to Thriller. It reminds me of that. So I like it for that, but I wouldn't pay like that amount of money for it. Like, it's cute, but it's not like that cute. Then they have the Bon Voyage cosmetic bag for €9.99. Again, that houndstooth sort of design. Looks kind of cute. And Under Control oil blotting papers for €4.99. No idea as to how many papers you'll actually get in that. Now, that's not something that really concerns me because I'm actually okay in terms of like oil on the face. I use niacinamide like it's going out of fashion. I don't know. I think all in all, it's a strange collection in the general Makeup Revolution style. They have thrown everything and the kitchen sink in. Like the fact that they're putting in fragrances and keychains now. What is happening? What is going on? I never thought that this was a franchise that was popular enough to warrant a collaboration. But to be fair, Makeup Revolution will just kind of jump in with anyone to do a collaboration if they think it will get them some sales. I'm just not sold on it. I personally wouldn't get any of it. it just looks a bit weird in my opinion, and the fact that they're not being very forthcoming with swatches on things kind of gives me a little bit of pause. Like, I don't like when brands do that. Now, I don't know what you guys think at the moment because I literally just put it to you guys before I sat down to film, so I'm going to put the stats up here, and if you don't agree with me, oh my goodness, we're in trouble. And we are in further trouble because they have another collaboration. Makeup Revolution have teamed up with DC Comics, but I do appreciate that it's a Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy one. Now, personally, I love the Harley Quinn Poison Ivy romance. I think that is fantastic. Now, I don't actually have the prices across these things, but there's a lot in this, but I feel like this is a slightly more together collection than the Emily in Paris. Maybe it's just because I like the source material that little bit more, but we'll talk about this kind of piece by piece. So there's this sort of palette where they have combined Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and the cover, amazing. 11 out of 10. Really, really like that. I hope I've sourced better pictures than what I've got because they're a little bit grainy as I'm looking at them. The actual colour story of the palette, horrendous. Do not like it. Very disjointed. Don't know what I would do with it, but I want the artwork. Really, really like the artwork. Again, I couldn't find any swatches. It only makes sense in the sense of like there's some greens there for Poison Ivy and there's like some pink and black in there for Harley, and then beyond that, not so much. Like, it feels like they haven't really thought that much about the source material. I'm not sure where they're getting that from. I will say, however, the Harley Quinn palette, I do like that. I do think that is actually genuinely very, very good. Everything down to the artwork and the actual colour selection here makes sense to me. There's a bit of depth, a bit of light in here. Actually super cute. I actually quite like this one. If maybe hell has frozen over because I actually like something from Makeup Revolution, I'm not going to buy it, but like, this isn't bad. I actually think this is a decent colour story from them. What is happening? But then it all starts to fall apart when you look at the Poison Ivy one because they had so much potential here. But like, the shades that they've included here, like the shade Botanical, that should be a matte. That's a shimmer. There's not enough depth here. I do, however, like that shade up at the top left, like that kind of like grungy green. I do think that's interesting. That like, there's shades in here that aren't bad, but then they're so close to each other. Like those two orangey peachy shades like over on the left hand side are way too similar to each other. Like, they are going to look identical on the eye, so it's not well edited in my opinion. Then they have this graphic liner set, which I will say, I think this makes sense. I can immediately identify what part is Harley and what part is Poison Ivy. I think this is done really well, but I haven't heard the best things about their graphic liners, like that they don't really work that well, so I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily go off and get it, but they also have other things. There's like some pencils, there's some mascara, some brushes. They all look pretty bog standard, like nothing there that's really kind of jumping out at me. Then they have like these dual-ended like liquid shadows chrome set. Again, this is all I can get at the moment because it's all very vague, and there's like this sort of sponge as well, and there's a makeup bag and some like Julie face sticker things. Yeah, it's again, they could have edited this a little bit better, which is, I mean, true of every possible Makeup Revolution launch. I'm just saying. I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. I actually quite like that makeup bag. I think it's really cute that there's like one side that's Harley and one side that's Poison Ivy. This will probably do okay for like the big DC fans, because the artwork alone I think is actually really beautiful. I'd probably get it in Depot things, but I didn't do that for Batman, and I'm not going to do this either. Again, really appreciate that they're shipping the whole like Poison Ivy Harley Quinn thing, but other than that, I'm a little bit like meh about it. But I did only just find out about this before filming, so I don't know what you guys think. Are you similarly unimpressed, or maybe it's just me? I'm going to put your stats down below now so you can see. And it feels like we're getting a lot from Bella Beauté bar over the Halloween period, because they just came out with their Basic Witch palette, which I did pick up. I have absolutely no regret, but it feels kind of a little bit too soon to come out with another one. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just trying to think of my wallet. But this is the recently Deinfluenced palette, and it's coming out September 20th, so it's almost out, not quite, and it's retailing for $69. There's 8 multi-chromes and 7 mattes, which is the sort of balance that I personally quite like. I like this. I think it's very, very pretty. I do feel, however, that it's all very like mid-toned. Again, we have nothing to deepen and we have nothing out there to lighten. So I don't feel this is necessarily a palette that you could kind of use in one go. I have one palette so far that I have used from Bella Beauté bar. I'm still waiting on the Basic Witch, but I do like the quality. And I'm assuming this is their new matte formula as well. There's codes, of course, that you can get like 10% off. I know Radar, like makeup Radar, or makeup on your radar. It's so hard to keep track of what her new handle is. I feel so bad for her. There's Radar 10, but there's lots of other codes as well. I don't know if Point Click Vibes has any. So you can use their codes for like 10% off if you are interested. Now, I really like their colour stories in general. I will say this one doesn't appeal to me as much as some of their other ones, and that's fine. That actually suits me. I feel this is a little bit too close to previous palettes that they've done, and it's starting to look a little bit samey, but that's okay, that's fine. There's only so much that you can do. I think they could have maybe gone without this release. Maybe I'm probably being unnecessarily harsh. Now, do I think there's going to be anything wrong with the formula? Absolutely not. I think it's probably going to be stunning, and I could see how you could use this for several different things. I like the shade Feud. I'd use that as a blush. I think it's stunning. Viral and Digital Zombie would probably be stunning highlighters. Lash Lighting would probably be beautiful as a blush as well. I think kind of where they're missing out on some marketing here is to say that it's like a multi-use palette, because I can see this being used as a multi-use palette personally. Like I could see it being used as that blush, that highlighter thing as well. Like most palettes could be, but I think it would be helpful if they just out and out said that. Now, I don't have any swatches, so you know me, lads, it could be the swatches that completely change my mind and that I'm suddenly like frothing at the mouth and being like, oh my god, I love it, I love it, I love it. But at the moment I'm not as like which is great for me. Absolutely loving that for me, because at the moment my eyes are like still in pain from using the Danessa palette. So I had a really bad reaction to it. My eyes are super irritated and I've taken a lot of antihistamines and stuff. So the thought of actually playing with makeup again is kind of like, maybe leave it for a little bit. But that's totally off the point. I think this is decent. Do I think this is bad? Absolutely not. Do I think it's the best thing that Bella Beauté bar have come out with? No. But that's because they've had such a high standard over the last while. Like they really have. They've done like some amazing things, like their collaborations with like say Ellie Starr and Brittany Huffman come to mind as like some really, really interesting ones. I don't know what you guys think of it yet. I assume that you'll think around about the same thoughts as me. I like my echo chamber. But then the very last thing that we're actually discussing is a sneak peek. So we don't know what the palette looks like yet, but this is from Cosmic Brushes and this is their Gothic palette. It's coming out sometime in October, no exact date yet, and it's going to have 12 shades. Now, I absolutely love Cosmic Brushes. I think they are unparalleled in terms of their quality for the price. Find me another indie brand that gives me what they give me for that price. I actually don't know how they do it. I assume it's a deal with the devil. But I will be getting this because I'm a completionist and I do enjoy their formula and I enjoy their palettes. I will be using my friend Tia's code and her referral link, which I'll put down below. I'm so excited to see what the story is here. And they also said in their stories recently, and the lovely Buttons put this into a message to me the other day, saying that they were going to come out with an angelic palette, but they decided to shelf that and had this fabulous like white cover, which reminded me a little bit of the Noctilucent from Blend Bunny, just in terms of like the font, etc. I would kind of love to know what that would have been, and would it have been like this contrasting palette to this? One way or another, I am intrigued. I will be getting it and I cannot wait to see it and be able to show it to you guys once it is released. But my gorgeous friends, that's it. It's quite a long one this week, believe it or not, but I do have my favourite comment, and of course it has something to do with math. This is from the fabulous FJUE, my girl Franca, and she says at 6:35, 101%? Okay then, because essentially Instagram decides to round up their percentages, and when you added it all up, it came to 101%. I love that Franca caught that. We do fast math together. Somehow I missed on that, and I think I should be punished eternally for that, but I really appreciated it. Thank you for noticing the numbers. But my gorgeous friends, that is it. That's the end of this particular video. It's been quite a lot of content to discuss, but do please like, comment and subscribe. All of those things really help. I know I say this a lot, but it really does. And I want to grow the channel because I put a lot of time and effort into this thing. And for the love of God, share. Do please share. Sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case, you know, wrap it up, don't be gross, and if you don't, go down to the clinic. You know, start a course of antibiotics or whatever it is that you need. Well, my gorgeous friends, that's it. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.